Hello, Saints Nation, and welcome back. It's Championship Sunday here on the channel here for the Drury Esports Invitational League of Legends tournament. My name is Dan Banner, going to be your host here once again, and apparently joined by my cat as my co-commentator as per usual. But nonetheless, our first matchup on the day is going to be Indiana Tech versus St. Clair College and best of three action. This one is going to be interesting. We came out of the out of the group stage yesterday as the second seed overall, Indiana Tech then being the third. So on paper, with a higher seed, so in theory, it should be a close match, but the slightest of advantages to us. But we don't know that for sure. I know there's a few players on the side here of Indiana Tech that did very well. Well, obviously, they must have done very well. They made it out of the group stage, but they had made the top of the statistics for things like KDA, specifically Fire Song. But we'll take a look at their roster very shortly. Of course, speaking of roster, let's take a look at ours real quick. Of course, your starting roster here for today's action. Andre Stegan up in the top lane. That's Frez. We have Justin McGregor in the jungle. I am Trick. Owen Baines taking care of the mid lane. Zachary Dillon, Mansfo, going to be on support. And Loy Rowland, that's Lazzy, on AD carry. In terms of some champions that you very well may see in this in these matchups. These are a couple of the comfort picks actually from our players. We've of course seen Frez pop off a bit yesterday with the Camille. I highly doubt that we'll see the Kiana come out, but I know that's a personal favorite. But the main one being right there, the Ornn. Trick, I don't think I've seen him play any of his comfort picks so far in this series, but sometimes that's just what the meta does to you. However, on the other side, Yule, Owen Baines, he's of course had the opportunity to whip out the TF, and it was successful. He's played the Syndra as well so far in this tournament, was successful with that. And then Lazzy, we've seen the Callista, we've seen the Ashe, but I don't think we've gotten to see the Ezreal yet. And for Miensfo, in terms of his picks, he's only gotten to play his Pantheon so far in this. And by the way, if you can find the Teemo hidden in this picture, be sure to point it out in chat. But yeah, we were just about to get ready to get into the draft phase for this game, starting off pretty quickly. In fact, these guys are flying, so we're going to catch up with it as it's already happening. Indiana Tech is currently in the midst of their next ban. So let's take a look real quick. Indiana Tech, those are a lot of targeted bans. Of course, we've seen AM Trick do successful on Elise yesterday. They're banning away the Pantheon from Mansfo, banning away then two of Yule's champions. Of course, the Lucian and the Syndra, both gone. Meanwhile, for St. Clair, it felt like they were having a little bit of a hard time dealing with Hecarim yesterday, so don't blame them for getting rid of it. And it's Amiris. Silas, Shen, and Lee Sin taken off the board. But as for the actual picks themselves, we're finally going to see Lazzy's Ezreal. It has been let through. Then Miensfo is going to be on the Leona. Frez is probably going to be picking up that Volibear. Then on the side of Indiana Tech, the Camille actually got through the ban phase and is going to be picked up. It's the Horizon, who is on Indiana Tech's top lane. I know Frez is going to be probably a little bit irritated at that. I'm sure he wanted that pick for himself. The Nautilus is a support pick, more than likely from Ashuka. And Senna is going to be played by Judge Grudge. But as I get the opportunity, I was just saying that we didn't see very much Graves at all so far from Trick. And sure enough, going to be pulling it out this time by Skarner coming out on the side of Indiana Tech. I have not seen that champion in a while. And now that we finally caught up, let's take a look here. So one final pick on the side of Indiana Tech. We need a mid laner, it looks like. Who are they going to opt to? Looks like St. Clair saved their mid laner for last as well. So kind of happen to pick blind. Hovers and locks in the Cassio. So Cassiopeia, quite the scaling AP mage, and Orianna on the other side for St. Clair, a champion, of course, that Yule is quite comfortable with. It's not exactly the assassin kind of play style that he's used to, but you could still do enough damage that it is fine by him, I'm sure. It's going to take a look at the rosters right here, right now. Looking at the ranks, like if you compare St. Clair's, our lowest is a Platinum 1, highest is a Diamond 2. And it was about the same idea here for Indiana Tech, so it should be a even game skill-wise anyway, if rank has anything to say about it. But of course, like Deddy mentioned a lot of times yesterday, that rank is definitely not everything. It's an indicator, but it doesn't mean it's actually going to be that way. So, that'll definitely be a thing, of course. Now that we can actually see the teams, let's take a look and see who we have here on the side of Indiana Tech. It's going to be the Horizon up in the top lane. Eternal Daddy. Oh god, if I'm going to be saying Daddy this entire cast, this is going to feel weird. Okay, Eternal Daddy in the jungle. We have Fire Song in the mid lane. Judge Grudge, AD Carry, Machuka in the support role. Just locking in the champions as we move forward. There wasn't any opportunities for a flex pick over, so we probably know where all of these picks are going. Should not be any surprise. One thing that I'm going to be curious of as this game goes on is definitely going to be that top lane matchup. I mean, if there's anybody who knows a Camille, it will be Frez. As I had mentioned in like past casts and whatnot, it is a champion he is extremely comfortable with and is his go-to for ranked solo queue. Has lots of hours, lots of games played on that champion, and hopefully here this Volibear pick will give him some of the options he needs to take care of that character. Then this mid lane battle, I feel like Yule's going to have the opportunity to poke out Cassiopeia, poke out Fire Song for at least a little bit. But it'll eventually hit a point where Cassio, if she lands some of her poison onto Yule, that he can just keep pelting out damage and out-trade an Orianna. Now down on the bot lane, of course, Lassie and Mienzfo. A very aggressive bot lane here with Ezreal and Leona. Mienzfo gets a pick, pulls himself into it. Ezreal can obviously just like arcane shift and blink right on top of one of these characters and just do a boatload of damage. At the same time, Machuka there on the Nautilus will have something to say about it with either some shields or some hooks of his own, trying to displace people and whatnot. And it'll be interesting to see how the junglers also get involved as this fight continues. And before we do hop into this first game, of course, I do want to give a big thank you to multiple people. First off, the sponsors that make this all possible. Of course, St. Clair College Alumni Association, St. Clair SRC, Suckleman School of Business and IT, PC Outlet, and Tim Hortons. Thank you all for making Saints Gaming possible. And also, big thank you to everybody who's already tuning in here on the Saints Gaming CA Twitch channel. Big shout out to everyone, of course, showing their support for friends, family, classmates, or even if it's just the program itself. Yesterday was a fantastic day for our League of Legends squad. Probably one of our highlights of the entire League of Legends team for Saints Gaming, being able to plow through as many teams as we did, going 6-1 in that tournament, and only looking to keep on pushing that here today. And should be an exciting one. I know personally, I may sound completely dead, but I'm excited. Yesterday took my voice a little bit away, but we're still here. We're still grinding, and it's I know it's early for a lot of people here, but rise and grind, gamers. just about a minute away. Trying to take a look one more time at some of the comfort picks on the side of Indiana Tech, because we had seen yesterday, I think it was during the third matchup. Can't remember. No, it would have been the second matchup. I think it was against it was either Purdue or either way. The point that I was trying to get, we've seen people multiple times. We've seen teams so far multiple times in this tournament pick compositions, pick champions that they're definitely not used to playing, but just because it's meta and it bit them in the rear, to say the least. But with how far Indiana Tech has gone, I doubt they would put themselves into that position. But I'm just trying to confirm, trying to find some additional match information from them. Of course, if you want to follow along with the bracket as it goes along, or take a look at some of these last stats from yesterday's games, exclamation mark bracket will bring it up for you in our Twitch chat. Okay, so this is definitely not the first time that we've seen Cassiopeia get picked up here from Firesong. Looks like it was brought out at least twice. The Horizon has played Camille on 2 occasions as well. And one thing that St. Clair has to be careful of is it looks like this this team not afraid to try something a little bit out of the ordinary here, as taking a look at a couple of the past matchups, they're not afraid to completely bypass an AD carry in the bot lane. They'll pick a Swain or some other AP mage carry, put it in the bot lane instead with a somewhat aggressive support, which is quite interesting. I don't see too many teams go for that nowadays. I think it's not too... Excuse me. I feel like it happened 2 weeks ago during one of the OPSC matches, but it was to rather limited success. But of course, this is a different team. Indiana Tech obviously deserved to be here, making it in 3rd in their pool. And we're right around the corner. I'm sure you'll be able to hear it loading in a moment. We're just about to get started. Game number 1 of this best of 3 between Indiana Tech and St. Clair College. About to get underway momentarily. And frame 1 pause. Okay, that's what we like to see, apparently. Okay, so it'll be another moment here. Apparently somebody had a hard time loading in. Yeah, the top disconnected on side of Indiana Tech. So while we wait for the Horizon to come back to us, we'll be chilling here for the briefest of moments, of course. Now, St. Clair are on the red side this time, and Indiana Tech on the blue. Overall, St. Clair, I feel like, have been more comfortable on the red side over the last couple games, especially during this tournament. I don't think they've lost anything on that side. The one time that they did lose, they were on blue side. At the same time, that was versus Shawnee State Bears, and I mean, that's a solid team. They were very good. So, it's hard to tell if... I can't necessarily say that it was a side for that one. And, okay. Looks like we're just about to get underway. Just got back in there. It was actually Frez who DC'd, so not even the Horizon. That was my mistake, but we are about to get into it momentarily once again. Whew. Here we go. I'm curious if we're going to see any sort of level 1 shenanigans come out here from St. Clair. I feel like having a Leona always gives you that option if you really want to try it. But we'll have to see. Skarner doesn't have necessarily the same prowess. I mean, Nautilus could follow up with a hook, and we have ourselves yet another pause. So the morning is really getting to us, apparently, here. Not sure what happened this time. And now sound is dying, so an interesting start to this one, just trying to get it underway. Thank you for bearing with us as we finally get this match underway. Line of scrimmage across the river, both sides. Nobody grouping up looking to try anything silly. Not on game one. Definitely something we might see as these sets go on. Because, of course, all the matches yesterday, they were all best of one. So, one strategy fits all. You make it work or you don't. Trick going to find the horizon. Going to put some small damage on before that shield pops out. Just a little poke.
Minions have spawned.
I mean, Trick got poked out a little bit as well, but he is going to have Frez there to help with that red buff start. And it looks like Skarner going to be Eternal going down towards the red buff as well. And it looks like it's going to be a quiet start. No shenanigans. Yeah, this mid lane, these first couple levels should be, in theory, I believe, like Yule's favor. He should be able to kind of out-harass with the ball and auto attacks. But as soon as Firesong gets a couple more levels, gets a couple more abilities on that Cassiopeia, that can easily just completely flip on its head. Now, the spot lane, I believe they both got down here close to the same time. Not sure if we'll see Saints get aggressive with a level 2. Do see that was Machucha and Judge Grudge respecting the fact that they might have been down a bit. But sure enough, Lazzy and Mansfo did hit level 2 before them. And of course, level 2 Leona is definitely scary as we see Frez jumping in on the horizon, trying to see if they can deal some damage, basically trading out to about even. Frez will definitely have to be careful. I know there was a couple times yesterday where he would look for these 1v1 battles and it would somehow get flipped on his head. Kind of similar to what we're seeing right here, and he's going to be burning his flash just because he was getting a little bit antsy in that top lane. And of course, that's going to be first blood. The Horizon really coming out to play here. And Frez has his own favorite, or one of his favorites, going against them here today. As soon as Frez gets back into lane, he's going to get jumped on right away by the Horizon. Of course, that Camille's just going to be bullying him in lane for the most part of this game now, especially now that the Horizon is ahead. Hopefully there for Frez, he'll be able to stay within range, just keep farming up, keep leveling up. Not fall too far behind. Mid lane battle versus Yule and Firesong. Looks like it's slowly itching towards Yule's side for now. Hook from Machucha is just going to hit a minion. And it's been a pretty quiet one so far. We do see Trick near that bot side, but is going to opt against an early dive. Don't blame him. Eternal all the way down by the blue buff area for his side. This is going to be a quiet start. If Frez gets back to level 4, but I imagine Horizon's right on the verge of level 5, and that's just so much damage. The fact that it takes so long for that shield to show up for Volibear makes it so that Horizon can just take him down, jump on him, do as much damage, and by the time the shield's done, he's already done his poke damage. He's already done what he needs to do. He can go run away now. Yeah, Firesong taking lots of harass there from the ball of Yule. Horizon back on top of Frez. The shield's going to come out once again, but yeah, as soon as the shield comes up, Horizon just stops, which is exactly what he needs to do in that situation. Definitely a rough time so far here for Frez, but even given the situation, only 5 CS down as of this moment. He's going to lose a little bit more here as the minions are going to go run into the turret probably. Trying to hang in there. sneaky little play coming out here for the side of Indiana Tech. Of course, this little area can be perfect to hide in, especially when you can hide how many people are actually here. They don't know Skarner's here up until now. Mansfo is going to be the one getting picked out, rooted. There's a lot of tower shots coming through, though. Chucha almost going down. Mansfo having the blows flash, but he's going to survive. Lassy's there to back up at the heal as well. And now that's actually a lot of minions here for Frez. He may be able to use them against the Horizon and actually trade back a little bit of damage. But the Indiana Tech bot lane, they may not have been able to secure themselves a kill or anything, but with enough harassment, it might stick St. Clair into their bot lane as they go to make an attempt towards the dragon. Eternal taking a lot of heat. Judge Grudge going to be forced to pop the veil. And sure enough, that dragon is going to go over to Eternal. Indiana Tech going to pick up the first Drake of the game. Okay. Flash for flash, I guess, can work there. Mansfeld going to burn the flash from Judge Grudge, but they have to be careful. There's people there, but of course, the ward is going to spot this out. Lassy's going to be able to play a little bit safer. And we're going to have Eternal go back to his jungle. Keep on farming up. There's no point trying to force the issue there. This mid lane battle, even though Fire Song has been taking a little bit of harass here from Yule, it's been dead even with him in terms of minions, in terms of CS. So, not behind in the slightest. Health is a resource. Use it to get minions, and he's been completely fine so far in this lane. Been a very quiet game on the side of St. Clair, especially on the jungle front. Trick has just been farming up as quick as possible so far in this game. Now down by his Raptor camps. His Horizon starts to push in here on the top lane. Going to eat a tower shot for good measure. Okay, actually, here we go. Yule trying to make the play onto Fire Song, and he's going to get it, actually. Just the solo kill on to Fire Song. Impressively done there from Yule. Does that spark a fire across everybody on the board? Very well made. Some harassment being taken by Judge Grudge. That's definitely unexpected. I did not think that that was going to be the case, but there was enough burst damage on the side of Yule that apparently the Orianna can act like a assassin at times. They're going to turn this bot target on to Machucha. The hook from Machucha is not going to land. Eternal coming in hot, but by the time he shows up, the support's already gone. Judge Grudge going to get doubled, and then now Eternal dodges the Leona ulti. AM Trick is here to help push in after the fact, but a solid 2v3 battle there from the St. Clair bot lane. Able to turn that around, blow up Machucha before Eternal was even there. Judge Grudge short to follow, and then Eternal forced to run for the hills. Actually, Trick is on the hunt. He's going to try and take some of these minions, going to be successful in doing so. Stealing away the camp. After that early solo kill onto Frez, he's been much more cautious so far up in this top lane. Doesn't seem to be the one to try and instigate these fights. As I say that, he jumps in and instigates one of these fights. But at least it's even, but this is the kind of health that I would be worried about if I was Frez. We've seen how hard Camille can hit you for, so be very worried. And sure enough, he is going to go back, so okay, playing it safe. Does have the TP if this lane does get pushed. He's in fact going to use it. Mansfeld on the roam. Going to see if he can maybe snag Eternal. Not going to happen. Just spots him out and moves back. Oh, that's some solid poke coming out of Yule, and he's got a blue buff now as well. Shockwave once again. Can they get themselves another? That's going to be 2 kills from Yule, and this time a little bit of assistance from Miensfo on the Leona as well. And this could be starting to get a little bit scary. St. Clair pushing towards the Rift Herald. Get ready to start pushing some plates in as well. Lassie's just taking his time down in the bot lane. He doesn't have to go in, so just farm from afar, use those Mystic shots. He's got the 2 kills already in this lane, and he has been very, very far ahead in regards to CS onto Judge Grudge. So for game 1, St. Clair on a good start, but of course anything can happen. This could still be a 45-minute game or something. And then the blue buff on the side of Indiana Tech going to go over to St. Clair as well. It just feels like St. Clair has a grasp of the entire map right now. Up in the top lane, Frez taking some decent heat, but tries to bring it back onto Horizon. I don't think he got the best of that, but at least makes something happen. Doesn't take the damage for free. And of course, with Miensfo making that roam, it allows Lassie to get so much more experience, being the only one in that lane to take the experience. So he's going to have those abilities hitting much harder. Every one of those Mystic shots, as we can see, just uses his Arcane Shift, uses his Escape as an aggressive option, and it did like a quarter HP. You see Horizon jumping in. Frez has the ult popped as well. Eternal is there, ready to suppress him, and sure enough, that will do it. Horizon going to get himself a 2nd kill. Is definitely on pace to get himself that Trinity Force as fast as possible. But the 2nd Dragon comes up, and this time Mountain Drake going over to St. Clair, and Pachucha could be in trouble here. Lines up right with the True Shot Barrage is going to take about nearly half of his health. But of course, the Nautilus is rather tanky. But hello, Trick! And that hook did not hit the wall, unfortunately, there for Machucha. It's going to be Lassie securing another one. But Horizon is looking to get feisty. Sitting there with half HP, however. And then Shelly's going to come out of nowhere. We do have Fire Song as well in the play. Lassie taking some poison damage from Fire Song as this goes forward. I'm not sure what that Shelly was about. I don't know if that hit the tower at all. And here's a huge stun coming out, but a nice recovery from Yule. That Shockwave really delayed the attack there on the side of Indiana. And they're able to turn that around for a 2-for-1. But Yule could be stuck between a Scorpion and the wall if this isn't carefully done. Miensfo jumps in with the stun. Flash right on point. Yule picking up his 3rd elimination on the game. Miensfo might have overstayed his welcome, though. Is their backup. Trick is here. Is there anybody additional? Yule is not too far away, and they're going to go back to her lane. So far, St. Clair being able to make this scrappiness kind of work in their favor. Lassie picked up a kill, did eventually go down, but his sacrifice was then the perk, essentially, for Yule, as he was able to line up a double Shockwave and do a bunch of damage and take 2 kills for himself. Horizon back up here in the top lane, making Frez's life rather difficult, but actually these minions are slowly kind of pelting away onto Frez. Back and forth. Frez might not actually be in a terrible position here. We'll have to see. This is going to be a close one. Flash from the Horizon, but Firesong's getting bodied as well, and Frez is going to finally take down the Horizon, winning a 1v1. Might have had just enough time to get enough items to make that work, and he played it properly. Beautifully done from the St. Clair top laner, as now we're down to the bot side. One turret gone. Bryce is probably going to take this one down as well. There it goes, sure enough. There was no teleport available on the Horizon. Actually, Horizon was just getting off his death timer right now, so far, still good here for St. Clair. Well, nearly a 5,000 gold lead with 15 minutes passed so far in this game. they can keep this ball rolling, they'll be on fantastic position to move into Game 2 a game ahead. Looking at some of the items, we've seen both the AD carries stacking up that mana immune for a while. I assume that Lassie probably has that close to finished at this point. Be a little power spike when that happens. Then, of course, the Orianna Luton's Echo, as if she doesn't do a boatload of AoE damage already, add on a little bit extra. Good to see. The Iceborne Gauntlet for Frez with a little bit of tankiness and the added slow on auto attacks. A nice little added touch there, whether you're pursuing or trying to kite. But that Trinity Force is done on the side of Horizon, so there'll be a good chunk of damage coming out of him, but we'll have to see. If he gets left alone in a team fight, it could be deadly, but we'll have to see. Frez does get jumped on, and the ult comes out from the Horizon. The Senna ult as well going to come on out. Frez actually steals the blue buff, but it's not going to be for long. Buff transfer complete over to the Horizon, but Chucha going to jump onto Lassie. Lassie is not long for this world. St. Clair really caught off guard here. The Chucha is going to go down, though. Trick got a boatload of AoE damage in that attack, but it is eventually all going to be for naught. 3 members down on the side of St. Clair compared to the 2. If Trick can get out of there, it looks like he is, in fact, going to be able to do so. Again, they try to go for the Raptors, and now the Horizon's really starting to force the issue. Gets somewhat low, but there is backup. The Judge Grudge is there. And, of course, can heal the Horizon a little bit. So, would not have been a good fight for Trick to take, but they're all going to back out anyway. Third Dragon is now on the map. St. Clair posturing for it and have a position as right now. Don't think they've started it in this meantime. Eternal is there and is actually starting to dive into the pit. He might have gone in kind of blind. St. Clair might have baited this a bit. And Eternal going to get taken down. Miansfo going to get himself his 3rd kill in this game. That is going to be a beefy Leona the longer this game goes on. No contest. St. Clair going to take that dragon, their 2nd one of the game. So now they got the ocean and the mountain on their side. Lassie and Mansfo looking to possibly shove down this mid lane turret, but it is going to be met by the bot side of Indiana Tech. Herald's on the field for another minute. Do they opt to try and snag it, or is it going to switch over to Baron before they can get there? And oh my gosh, that damage from Yule was disgusting. Fire Song running for his life, forced the flash away. Would have been down to very low HP had that ball hit one more time. Fire Song just not having the opportunity this game to really get anything started, which is extremely surprising considering in the group stage he was the one with the craziest, or one of the craziest KDAs, and as all of the members of Indiana State are lining up, Trick is getting massive value. Mansfeld just being as much of a nuisance as possible, but actually it's going to be the shutdown, and actually Frez is going to find Horizon. Lassie does find some Chucha as well, so a 3-for-1 plus Herald for St. Clair. And the Baron just spawns. You know what? Take that too. Might as well. They're going to try for it. The only people alive on the side of Indiana are Judge Grudge, who's extremely squishy, and Fire Song, who has like next to no HP. So there's no way they are going to try and contest this successfully, I would imagine. They may prove me wrong and try to, however. Firesong with an ultimate going to stun up Trick, but Yule is there for backup. Firesong goes down to Lazzy. Judge Grudge going to run for the hills. True Shot Barrage going to tag him, but not enough to take him out. So it's going to go back to the Baron. It still had the same HP. Frez just sat there and tanked that Baron the entire time. St. Clair now has a Baron. They have a massive gold lead. And they also have the Rift Herald in the pocket of Miensfo. Looking very painful right now for the side of Indiana Tech. Yeah, one of the points that I was trying to make before that Baron fight did go down was that Firesong in the group stage was in the top 3 across this entire tournament in regards to having the best KDA. Right now, he doesn't even have a kill. That must be rather demotivating. Hey, Yule and Frez might be able to find the horizon here. Going to try and get him. It's going to be the shockwave to hold him into place, but Yule's going to get jumped on. Horizon trying to run away, not going to happen. Frez going to kill him off there. Yule's still doing a ton of damage. Machucha is not long for this world. As this all is going on, Miensfo pops the Rift Herald down the mid lane. So this is going to be a very destructive push. St. Clair get 2 kills in the bot lane, while also just completely shoving down mid lane. As we see here, Shelly nearly destroying the entire turret by herself. St. Clair going to be able to get this mid lane inhibitor and possibly a bot lane inhibitor as well. As we see Frez and Yule taking down this bot turret. Can they find themselves one more, or are they going to try to finish this off? Shelly's going to get one more shot too. Wow, with like next to no HP left. Shelly takes down the turret. Now both Nexus turrets are gone. What are they going to try and do? It's going to be a scrap to finish this one off. Eternal goes low. Machucha's down at the same time. Fred's in the middle of everything, tanking as much as possible. Firesong finally going to get himself on the kill board, but it's too little, too late. St. Clair going to take game 1 in convincing fashion. Absolutely perfectly done there, or not perfect, but fantastically done there from St. Clair as they take that one, like I was saying, in very, very convincing fashion. But thankfully for Indiana Tech, this one is a best of 3. All the games today in the tournament will be a best of 3 compared to the best of 1s from yesterday. And there's definitely some adjustments needing to be had. It felt like Eternal was trying, but I felt like there was just not enough pressure. The Horizon had a good start, but I don't know if it just wasn't capitalized on or what. But after the first kill, it felt like, okay, that's it. Like it didn't put Frez behind on CS that badly. At the very end, the Horizon took a little bit of a CS lead, but it was more so because Frez was helping in like objective play. Trick, flawless game, 5 eliminations, 0 deaths, and 10 assists. Yule, a flawless game, 5 kills, 0 deaths, and 9 eliminations. And then the bot lane did fantastic too. Miensfo was running all over the place, helping other lanes get ahead. And Lazzy, even when he was 1v2, was pulling off eliminations on the bot lane, or just being able to be safe enough down there, just keep farming, keep leveling up. And it was absolutely unstoppable, to say the least, there from St. Clair. We'll have to see what happens for Indiana Tech. They have quite the mountain ahead of them to try and win 2 games in a row against the Saints, but I've seen crazier done, that is for sure. So, as we wait for the next lobby to begin, we're going to throw it to a very quick break within, I think, 5-10 minutes. That one actually ended kind of fast, so the next game might be starting at noon. Get your opportunity to get a quick snack in, get a drink, and we will get ready for match number 2. Indiana Tech versus St. Clair coming up next.